Hello, gorgeous Earth and I fam. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, thank you for clicking on this video. I want to start out with deep appreciation for this community and for each and every one of you, and for your consciousness and your choice to express your true essence and being. And it's been just such a great honor to connect with so many of you in the comments, in the personalized stories on the website, and in Instagram, giving social media a new meaning and a new piece in my life. And that has just been one of the greatest gifts in my life. And today is exciting because I finally got a new microphone. Thank you guys for the feedback about that. And of course we have someone's coming with a lawnmower, but hopefully that doesn't abrupt the audio too much. I've been having some issues trying to sit down and film this, so give that grace if you can. And as you know, this is a place where we flow. I let it flow in the most authentic and genuine way possible to help us all up level. And today's video is centered around the truth of trials and tribulations, and how one can only do what one can with the present moment. And within that, we have stops. They're not stays, they're stops. And we know these as problems, as issues, as hardships. And what reality shows us is that we will always have these, no matter how much of our dream life we're tapping into, no matter what timeline we find ourselves on. There's always going to be trials, and there's going to be tribulations that test us and that really make us question everything. And having the knowledge and the wisdom that no matter where you're at in your life, you will have these, empowers us to go towards our dreams. Why? There's a part of us in our mind that is so keen and so into comfort. And even in that comfort, we have trials and tribulations. Why are these perceived as easier? The reason why is because we know them so well. And when we are constantly facing the same trials and tribulations, it feels like we have control, and we may, but we're not going anywhere new. We're not stepping into higher dimensions. And that can trap us, that can keep us locked in. And that is one job of our subconscious, is to keep us safe. We have a system that wants to protect our bodies, our minds, our safety. And when we get to know this part of self, we can transverse new experiences together without having to override necessarily the part of ourself that does want to keep us safe. We can show it how to keep us safe in a new way. When we think of our dream life, it can be very easy to have this mindset that we're never going to have any problems, that we're never going to face any kind of resistance. And the more that we start experiencing the unfolding of our dream life, that idea shatters. And it allows us true growth. And in growth, we have hardships, we have resistance. And we wouldn't get to a new point if we didn't go through something that was trying us. When we're on our journeys, we can feel ourselves being called backwards. And why is out of fear. And it's not always out of fear. That's just what is the easiest to kind of explain. And the fear comes from unknown trials, unknown tribulations. And in those unknown trials and tribulations, there's unknown gifts. And our dream is constantly unfolding new gifts for us. Even if we have this solid idea of what our dream life is, we're still going to receive new gifts, unknown blessings. And the way that we receive them is by transversing unknown hardships, problems that are unforeseen. And when we have the bravery to go forward into it, we will come out of it a new person, a new state of mind, a new state of being. And growing in comfort for that empowers us to constantly go towards what we really want. It can be very easy to want to turn back and to start over for the reason that our problem, we are facing these problems and resistance. And I'll bring in a personal example to tie this together. I have always had a fear of financial security. And I have let that stop me from really going in the direction of my dreams because I'm scared I'm not going to have enough money. And what the reality is even if I stay in my comfort zone, I still have this fear that I'm not going to have enough money. And I realized I was just getting in my own way, and the more that I was feeding this idea, the more that it was manifesting in my life. Coming to terms with where we feel like we're lacking, that is the only way we can find abundance. That's the only way we can truly plant seeds that will grow. Wiping away these perimeters that we perceive are our safety nets, they allow us to truly engage with life in a way that is authentic, in a way that is ours. We don't always see the life that we want to live out in the world. We see bits and pieces, but on the truth of our journey, no one's doing it the way that we're doing it. No one can feel and experience and understand the concepts that are coming to us, the downloads that we get. And it's beautiful to connect with others on this basis. And that's bravery. That takes strength to really walk a path that you know you have to walk alone. And being able to connect with others is the greatest blessing. And when we're authentically moving on our path, we inevitably meet with others who are walking authentically on their paths in a similar direction of us. A quote that just came to me is, "We walk the same path, but got on different shoes." I think that's from like a rap song or something, but I remember even when I was young, that always struck a chord with me because it's the truth. Even though you perceive maybe someone that you see on the internet, wow, they're really living the life that I would love to live. We have to have the discernment to realize, but I'm going to do it in my way. It won't feel the way that I want it to feel unless I'm doing it my way. I really hope this sound isn't throwing off the audio. Shout out to Rode. Remembering that our dreams are also going to come with trials and tribulations, that gives us grace to not give up. Sometimes when we're really pursuing what we actually want in our lives, the minute that we hit resistance, especially when we're in a vulnerable place, especially when we're taking a major risk, when we come to a point of trial, it makes us want to give up. It makes us want to turn back. How we can continue forward is realizing even if we go back, we're going to strike a point like this anyways. Why not be striking that point in pursuit of our destiny, going towards our true north? It is really a paradigm to erase because many of the people we may be surrounded with or the ideas that we may have been fed are about that we need safety and structure and security. And of course we do. That is kind of human nature. It keeps us balanced. It keeps us on track. But we have to realize we can have that while simultaneously being engaged with the unknown, with taking risks, with going in a direction that's unexplored and maybe our family lines and our close loved ones. And loving those moments just as much as we love the glorious ones. And the reason why is because those make us who we are. They really, 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 really do. When everything's on the line, when we're being so tested, that's when we're making those conscious choices to go up, to go forward. Sometimes we do have to go back. It can be too much to handle, but having that underlying tone in life that I'm always in the pursuit, I'm always on my journey, and not letting anything take that away from us. Sometimes we do have to reason, we have to sacrifice, we have to be willing to take a new direction, but taking into account that there are going to be hard times, there are going to be uneven grounds that we're walking upon. That's life. That's the beauty of life. That's a part of life. A lot of times in society, we see people running away from this. We numb ourselves from this. We hide from this. We do anything we can to not experience this. But all we're doing is shutting a part of life off. We're shutting an aspect of source off from our consciousness, our beam of light. Like you don't have the light without the dark. This is a constant thing. We are always going to experience this. So let's say that your dream life is to have complete financial security. Of course, this is going to be inspired by some of the aspects that I have in my dream life. Have really close and safe and confident relationships with loved ones. Live in beautiful places and explore beautiful places. and to be responsible for one's own income. Now we have that dream in our minds, and we have this aspect of ourselves that see that and only see that. How you can really get there is to realize that it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a battle. And even when I get there, I'm going to face hardship. I'm going to face questioning of what am I doing, even when you're there. Taking that into accountability, that makes it real. That makes it natural. Hardship is natural. Tribulations are natural. They're part of life. Our mind just has become so black and white sometimes, where it's like we just want to see the light. We just want to see the happiness, the juice, the enjoyment. And we're not taking into account the dark times, the shadows, the reflection. And when we have that imbalance, it can make those realities seem so far out of reach. And that's why, is because we're not seeing the whole picture. When you see the whole picture, you see the contrast, you see the contradictions, yet you see the beautiful artwork that is made from the blending of all of them, of both of them. So let this serve as your reminder that life is going to unfold naturally. Life unfolds naturally, and in that natural unfolding, hard times come, trials come, dispositions happen, directional changes find their way to us. And opening ourselves up to that makes it a lot easier, a lot more graceful for our true realities to unfold, because we're prepared, we're accepting. That's a big thing, is acceptance of the fact that some parts of life are very, very hard. Sometimes we feel very isolated. The more that we can find grace for ourselves and also find practices that aid us in moving through this, that's how we can really find our dreams. Because the truth is that it's all happening right now. It is happening right now. That exists somewhere right now. The way that we move there is by embracing everything, being in touch with everything. And when we're not, that starts to breed very unhealthy and very toxic aspects in our lives, in ourselves, in our realms. And then we basically are, it's kind of like the flow of a river, and then those parts of the river start pooling and the water gets really mucky because it's not moving with everything. That can happen to us. We can find ourselves in those places. And the more that we can embrace the hardship, the more that we can be the water going over the hard rocks, that's when we can really feel it all. We can become it all. Going into our dream lives, that's a journey of becoming. And in that journey of becoming, we're there, we witness everything. We're there for everything. We know everything. That's what makes the basis strong. That's what makes it real. That's what makes us feel and know that we're worthy of receiving those blessings of our dream life, because we know the trials and tribulations we went through. We know what we gained, what knowledge we have within us through those difficult times. It's not the same when we just give, when we just receive. It's about the giving as well. That cycle, it's not as instantaneous as sometimes our ego wants it to be. And it's not one-sided either. We have to be willing to give in order to receive. And a lot of times our giving to God is in those hard times, in looking to a higher power, looking to source and surrendering to it. It is our dream life, but what the reality is that it's something so much greater than that. That's a very small way that we can perceive it, but it's the way that we can understand it in this human experience. We're really aligning with such an authentic vibration that it's changing everything in our world. It's changing the lives of those around us. And that inspiration that we can give and receive is the whole purpose of being here together. One of them, there's many. But just remembering that when we're reflecting and we're really creating something beautiful and worthwhile, it will only be really worthwhile if we know what it took to get here, if we know what it took to create this, and just not giving up. And sometimes we do just need to let go. We need to release the reins, and that's a necessary part of the journey too. really starting to slow down. I feel like that was a lot, and realizing that our dreams are real. They're just as real as the life that we're living right now. And also realize that the life that you're living right now was once your dream life. And it's evolved. It continues evolving. And that's how natural it happens. We move into this new state and we kind of forget that, whoa, I dreamed of being at this place at one point. How magical is that? And we got here by fully engaging with life and what we were given and what was put in front of us. And we matched it with our authentic vibration and our authentic expression. And now we can evolve forward. And that's the power of reflection as well, that we can see the progress that we made and know that it's not done. It's never done. It just keeps happening. And we're at different points in different seasons, and different pieces of our lives require different aspects of ourselves to be at the forefront. And we can only really know that when we're fully engaged. It is such a natural process, and that's the beauty of this journey. And I believe that's why many of us tap into spirituality, is because we realize how natural life is, how abundance is the true language of the universe, and how we're all worthy of that. And we're making this progress to take down the barriers that have stopped this and that have resisted us from fully being in our true essence and being as one and moving together and embracing every part of life. And in my experience, I really have felt that sometimes my positivity was shamed upon, in that I was being too optimistic. And I understand toxic positivity and all of that, I promise. But I've really had to reinstate the truth that that comes from a true appreciation for life, for every storm, for every season, for every experience, and how that is truly a gift, and that can inspire that love and appreciation in another, and being open to be inspired in a new way, and always moving in the direction of your dreams. It's worth taking the risk. It's worth packing up and moving everything. It's worth letting things go, because something greater is going to find its way back to you. Having that structure in self, having that connection to the higher aboves, and really tapping into that angel guidance that is constantly circling around just for you, just to see your path unfolding in great divine collective consciousness and on a personal scale as well. All right, dear ones, and as we wrap up, remember that no matter where you're at in your life, you will always have trials, you will always have tribulations. If you're living your dream life or whatever, there's always going to be difficulty, there's always going to be hardship, there's always going to be difficult decisions to make, but those make you who you are. You're brave enough to face them, and don't let anything stop you from going, because no matter where you go, life is going to meet you there. You're always going to engage with life. You're going to remember the knowledge that you gained in past experiences. You're going to remember why you started, who you are, what you are. And that's the greatest gift you can ever give to yourself. Thank you again so much for being here for this flow, for being who you are, for trusting your journey. And remember that it's in the small things. It's in the small decisions. Every choice that we make carries weight in the grand scheme of things, and everything is worth noting, worth paying attention to. I send you so much love, great blessings. As always, love hearing from you guys, so I look forward to that. And any feedback or anything that resonated that you feel called to share, please do so. If you're interested in submitting a personalized story, those are all donation-based. Love tapping in for those for you guys as well. Thank you for those magical co-creations. And until next time, please go in the direction of your dreams.